Hello, my name is Kurt, and today I'll be talking about another MGTOW topic. Today's topic is going to be my journey from being a beta male into an alpha male. Now, it wasn't an easy journey. It wasn't a fast, smooth, overnight transition. There was a lot of pain, there was a lot of hatred, and there was a lot of mind-opening experiences in the whole journey. For some people, they just find MGTOW like this. Oh, it makes sense. Okay, they transition to alpha fairly smoothly, or they already are alpha. They just needed to realize that they're MGTOW. For me, I always consider myself sort of an introverted, like introverted lone wolf type. I wouldn't consider myself beta by any means. I was just kind of indifferent to a lot of things. I would hit on girls here and there, and I was a white knight, certainly. Like back in high school, there was a girl I had a crush on. I would write her fucking love notes, and I would be like, oh, I love the way your perfume smells on me when you hug me, and I used to sit behind her in one class, and I would like pull on her hair and all this shit, and it was just so fucking stupid at the time. And guess what? I never got her. Anyway, I never got her because I wasn't alpha enough. I was beta. Like, I shouldn't have been writing love notes and all this bullshit to her. I should just fucking, like, say, hey, let's go out to the movies. Like, I'll pay for that shit. After the movies, you suck my dick. That's it. It would have worked a lot more effectively. And I would have achieved what I wanted to achieve. But that kind of carried on. It wasn't necessarily rejection, because females kind of chased me most of the time. But it was females that I never really liked. The females that I really, really liked, like, they wouldn't chase me. I would have to chase them. And it always resulted in a failure through my beta male methods back then. But the girls that were chasing me, there was a girl in high school. I used to sit, like, directly behind my crush. And she used to sit, like, 3 or 4 seats behind me. And she would follow me every day, like when I would walk home from school or whatever. She would follow me, and she's like, Kurt, let's go back to my place, let's fuck, this and that. I'll give you a foot job and all this time, and all this stuff. And I'm like, at the time, I was like, a foot job? Holy shit. Being, super young, I was like a junior at the time, and she was a senior. Yeah, she was a senior because my crush was a senior as well. And I'm like, damn, I could get, all this crazy shit from a senior that lives like a couple streets away from me. I should do it. But I was chicken shit. I was a beta back then. I'm like, oh, I really like my crush, though. I can't do that because she's friends with my crush. And then if I fuck her, she's going to probably tell that my crush sooner or later, and that's going to ruin everything. You know? Fast forward a little bit, I actually got a girlfriend later on in high school, but I still actually liked my crush a lot more. And then during the time that I was dating that particular girl, I was hitting on my crush. I was texting, I was talking on messengers, whatever, on the internet with her at night and shit. And then she's like, oh, I found out you have a girlfriend and this and that. It's like, why are you hitting on me still? And I'm like, cause I like you and this and that. And it's just like, oh, but you have a girlfriend, and it's like, aren't you happy, this and that? And I'm like, damn, you know. At that point in my mind, I was like, I'm gonna have to break up with this chick that I'm currently dating to be with this chick. And that's kind of what happened. It's just, I didn't break up on purpose. It just kind of fell apart because I didn't have interest in my girl. I had an interest in my crush. And then I went crawling back to my crush, so to speak, and I never got her anyway. It's fucking pathetic, really. Looking back, I don't know, I could have fucked that chick that was like really into me, and I could have fucked my crush, and I could have fucked, all these fucking other chicks and all this shit, and it would have been the true alpha male way. But I was too beta back then. Fast forward things a little bit, college comes around, I still have this mentality that girls are innocent and beautiful, and that there is one out there that's perfect for me and all this shit. And there was this particular girl that I was hitting on, and she was hitting on me. She was the quintessential, like, sort of cheerleader, white girl bimbo type, like fucking nice ass body, like rocking tits, just nice curves, not too like. She was petite. She was like, she had an athletic build, but she had curves, if that makes sense, and she had fucking huge ass tits. It was fucking epic. Um, and I would hit on her, and I got her number, and then I talked to my friend. I'm like, oh, she seems very innocent. I don't know how to talk to her. Maybe she's there's this a marriage material type of girl and all this stuff. And my friend's like, let me do you a favor. He goes online. He was part of this boxing forum or something like that. And he asks, he's like, oh, my friend's hitting on this chick, whatever. And he says she's too innocent. What should he do? And everybody on that boxing forum was like, that guy has to get this fucking bullshit out of his head. The girls that seem the most innocent are the biggest freaks. You show off your money a little bit, you take them out, they'll be fucking you in every position, and they'll be fucking everybody else too. And they were right. And then my friend told me that, and I'm like, I don't really believe that. So I started hitting on her a little bit more, and then sooner or later I see her giving out numbers to other guys, and I see her making out in the hallways with other guys. I don't know if it was to make me jealous, but it never affected me because I still had a major crush on that one particular girl. And it was funny because she went to the same college as well, and I would see her walking through the hallways and whatever. We never had classes together, but I would see her, and there were moments where she wanted me to approach her because she would smile at me and everything. She would want me to approach her and talk to her and then probably take her out and shit like that, but it's just like I was just too beta at the time. I was still beta at that point. I'm like, I can't do it. There's too many feelings, and I would see her walking with another guy and whatever, and that was probably just her friend at the time, whatever. And I'm like, I don't like fucking dealing with all this bullshit, right? So there was pain, but there was also indifference. As I grew older, as time progressed, I learned a lot of things, That, all that stuff that I explained to you guys was just a seed. It was a minor seed that always grew within me. But during all those experiences, it would be watered a little bit. It would be watered, and then the seed would grow and grow and grow, right? But it wasn't until, I don't know, I'd say 3 years ago or whatever, I broke up with this one chick that I was dating. I was actually living with her as well. I broke up with her, and then I met this other chick, right? And then we hung out, and I was like super kind of needy at the time because I broke up with that one chick, and I still really liked her, and then I'm like, I need somebody to hang out with that's a female, and it made me fuck, whatever, to kind of get over things easier and faster and all this stuff, right? And we would hang out, and I would hit her up every day like a dumbass, I'd be like, yo, let's hang out, like, I came off as a needy sort of bastard with no life, right? And, I made all the stupid mistakes. But anyway, we would hang out a couple times, and then she's like, oh, your vibe is too intense for me or something like that, and it's just like, oh, because obviously I was kind of trying to hit on her, and I was trying to get in her pants, and then I guess chicks could feel that, but I guess I wasn't doing it in the right way, so she was kind of getting this sort of creepy vibe, I guess. So I just kind of said, fuck it, and she said something really fucked up to me, too, that I'll never forget, and that's when it just completely, that's the last thing, after all the heartaches and all the pain I went through, that was the final stepping stone into my path to a true alpha male. She just said something really fucked up to me, and she's like, oh, you're a nice guy, but I feel uncomfortable around you, and I wish you luck, and it's like we can't hang out anymore, and this and that, and all this bullshit. And I'm like, you know what? Fuck you. Why did I even waste my time with you? Why did I even bother? What's the point of friends? Like I said, what's the point of, like, I wasn't really pursuing like a massive relationship. I just wanted to have sort of like a female friend that I could like talk to, and like I said, that would suck my dick every once in a while, that type of stuff, But it's just like, why did I bother with this? It's just it's the drama the whole fucking time, right? And then after that, it was my complete pursuit into MGTOW. I found MGTOW online, and then I just kind of realized, holy shit, this is pretty much what I've been experiencing my whole life. The struggles, the tribulations, the rejections, the neglect, the whole sort of, all the games and all the bullshit I went through with women. It's exactly everything MGTOW explains to help you avoid that, right? And what happens, right? What happens? 2 fucking years later, or 3 years at this point probably, she hits me up out of nowhere. We don't talk for like 2 fucking years. And then she hits me up out of nowhere. And she says, oh, I saw you. And I have and I remember that I had your number. So I hit you up. And I'm like, I didn't text back anything because I was like, you know what? I'm gonna see how this goes, right? I'm gonna be like, oh yeah, you saw me? Where did you see me? Because that's sort of like the hook line they use. Oh, I saw you, and then they expect you to say something back like, oh, you saw me at this place, and then they'll be like, oh yeah, I saw you at that place or whatever. I said, so where did you see me? And then she completely switched the subject like this, like instantly, because she didn't fucking see me anywhere. I'm like, and then I texted her, like, if you fucking saw me, why didn't you come up to me and talk to me? And she's like, oh, I'm shy, this and that. I'm like, yeah, bullshit. It's like, I didn't see you anyway. And to be quite honest, I haven't frequented the locations that she specified anyway. She'd be like, oh, like 2 or 3 years ago, she would send me, oh, I saw you at this place. And I'm like, oh, yeah, I'm always hanging around there, so yeah, it makes sense. But now it's like, I don't hang out in those places anymore. And she doesn't know where I hang out, so she had nothing to say. So, she was like, oh, she instantly switched the subject, and she kind of like said some bullshit. And I'm like, fuck out of here. I'm not talking to you. Fuck out of my life. I just wanted to fuck around with her a little bit. After all that shit she said to me, I wanted to fuck around with her mind a little bit. So I did that, and I just got a good laugh out of it now. But if this was me back then, I would have replied like, oh yeah, blah blah. I would have kept on the conversation going and all this stuff, because all this, I believed in the innocence and the beauty of women. Not anymore, baby. Not anymore. Just like, you won't understand it unless you personally go through with it. And I could sit here and preach for fucking hours. I could talk and I could talk and I could talk. But you have to go through it yourself. It was the same thing with me. Like, people would tell me all this shit. I would see people going through divorces and all this shit. And I'd be like, oh, that's never gonna be me. I'll find the right one, this and that. Yeah, keep dreaming, kid. That's what you think. You gotta realize and open up your fucking mind. And the way you do this is through the experiences, Through dating and through the failures and through all this shit. It's like you finally realize and you finally fucking learn that, yeah, this is the truth. This is real life. Stop living in a fucking fantasy. Grow the fuck up and see that this is the world that exists in front of you. Because before, when I was a kid, even growing up, I would see all these, people getting divorced and stuff, and it's like, I never understood. It's like, why the fuck would you marry somebody if you can't be with them and have kids, especially, as well? And it's like, you fuck with the kids, and the kids don't have a father, or the kids don't have a mother. It's like, why the fuck would you even do that? You know what I'm saying? Like, why even get into that to begin with? That was my mentality. But now I realize, if I got into a marriage and all this shit, it would have been the same exact shit. It would have fallen apart sooner or later anyway. So, fuck that. I understand it now. And then, I got into rap music. Getting more into my journey from beta to alpha. I got more into rap music, and I started to realize, as a kid, MTV was a big thing. You had Jay-Z, Big Pimpin', thug 'em, fuck 'em, love 'em, but I'll never fucking be with them. This and that, I'll just fucking leave them. And it's like, what else did he say? It's like, I forgot, but it was all these lyrics like I fuck him and I leave him, I slap him, this and that shit. And it's like, all this sort of alpha male shit. It's like, pump 'em and dump 'em sort of mentality. So I grew up with sort of that kind of music, but I never really was into it. But now, just as a MGTOW, I realize the significance of it. It's like that's the supreme life, you know. As a kid, I was like, oh, maybe I want to get married and be some sort of philosopher and live in a nice cottage and have some animals and have a fucking cute ass redheaded wife or something that cooks me apple pies every evening. But now I realize that that's just a fairy tale. That's a whole bunch of bullshit. The reality of it is that it's not that easy. What's more real and what's more easier to achieve is that pimp lifestyle. You know, the bling, the women, the the sex, the nice rides, the nice houses, all that shit. And that's what I aspire, because that's what an alpha male aspires to be. Once you have any sort of significant success and wealth, the women just flow to you like so fucking easily. You could be the biggest fucking beta male too, and that's another thing. Some of the richest people are the biggest beta fucking males in the world. Like, I knew this, one of my high school teachers, he was my English and literature, and he also taught mythology, I think, too. Um, he was the biggest beta male I've ever seen. I think he was gay. Everybody said he was gay, but I'm not sure. But he drove a fucking, what was it at the time? He drove either a Corvette, like a brand new one, or like a Mustang, like a brand new one. And he always wore nice clothes, like fucking, like fucking, name brand stuff, you know? He made all the other male teachers look like fucking peasants. But, he was the biggest beta male ever. Like, he would show us pictures of his mansion and all this shit, but he was just such a beta male, you know? He would talk to, like, the female, oh, wonderful dress you have today, and all this stuff. I'm like, you're this bitch, you could fuck any chick, whatever. That's why a lot of people said he was gay, you know? But anyway. It's a rough journey, but, alpha male, independent, strong, building my own empire, so to speak. I have a lot more wealth now than I ever did as a beta male. As a beta male, taking chicks out to the movies, taking chicks out for dinners, fucking, even, driving around with them places. They don't want to take their own car, you gotta take your car. Good luck paying for the fucking gas. And at that time, gas was like fucking $5 a gallon. It wasn't like now where it's like fucking $2 to $3 a gallon, So yeah, just stacking that cash, enjoying life. I have lots of hobbies. I have lots of entertainment. I read books. I play video games every now and then. I'm looking into various technological advances. Occult stuff. Getting into the occult as well. I read a lot of Aleister Crowley and Crowley, however you want to pronounce it. Aleister Crowley and Anton LaVey. And that honestly helped me with my alpha male journey, and it also helped me as a MGTOW, because Aleister Crowley said, do what thou wilt, So it's like, do whatever you fucking want and don't let anybody stop you. If you gotta, it's like, if you gotta fucking stomp on somebody's fucking neck or whatever to get where you want to, or do whatever you want to, then do it, Anton LaVey was pretty similar, but he didn't really, how should I say, encourage violence. He just said if somebody is in your presence and they bother you, and if they don't leave your space, you should destroy them. So it means if somebody's like, in your space, pissing you off, that's when you beat on them. But Aleister Crowley pretty much said, do whatever the fuck you want, and that kind of strengthened me as an individual, because it made me realize that all these religions and all this other bullshit, it's just a bunch of bullshit, You do what you want, and the goal of life, the whole Crowley thing, it also got me into this sort of hedonism thing. It's like, if I'm going to live life to the fullest, I need to indulge. And to indulge is luxury items, luxury sensations, Asian massage parlors, escorts, any substance you choose to indulge in, you should do it. Stuff like that, And it really helped me just become more happier in, I wouldn't call it a lonely existence, I would just call it an existence where you want to do those things, you know what I'm saying? So anyway, that's what it kind of got me into, because thinking back, like if I was in high school or whatever, and even if I knew about escorts, I would never venture into that. I'd be like, come on, are you kidding me? It's like, oh, that's nasty, that's filthy, or stupid people only do that, or just I wouldn't have the guts to do that shit, you know. But now it's just like indulge, you know. It's the beauty of it, you know. My perspectives changed vastly, and I'm happy. And each day is another step of strength. So anyway, guys, if you're interested in the occult, look into Aleister Crowley and Anton LaVey above all, because all the other stuff is a bunch of mumbo jumbo fucking garble, fucking wands and crystals and fucking chakras and all this bullshit. No chakras. Go out there and fuck escorts, and then just have a great time, and you'll feel fucking great, you know, as opposed to spinning around with a fucking crystal or fuck knows what. It's fucking stupid. It's a delusion. In my opinion, that's a delusion. Why would you trade one delusion for another delusion? You know, you trade your delusions for a rational mind and a rational mentality. And if you're into stuff like that, I'd suggest just Anton LaVey, Aleister Crowley. That's it. They helped me out a lot on my journey in MGTOW and Alpha. Without that sort of step, I would still kind of be like, oh, please go on a date with me, this and that, you know. Oh, that chick would hit me up. Oh, how are you doing? Is life well? You want to hang out? Not anymore, baby. I got fucking 10 or 20 fucking girls that I could hit up, you know. Just regular escorts that I visit. Like, why the fuck do I need you? You see what I'm saying? So, that's the beauty of it. Anyway, guys, peace out.